Listen to me with all the strength of your spirit, because what I am about to declare is not ordinary. It is not casual. It is a divine announcement echoing from the depths of your destiny. The final test is over, and your breakthrough is not coming. Your breakthrough is starting right now. The weight that has been pressing on your chest, the confusion that has been clouding your mind, the delays that have been testing your patience, God says they were not signs of abandonment, they were signs of preparation. You are stepping into the moment where everything that fought, you will now witness your rising. This is the hour heaven has been shaping. You're not standing at the end of something, you're standing at the doorway of something God has ordained. For a long time, you felt that God was silent, but silence is not absence, silence is strategy. When God stops speaking, it means God is watching how deeply you trust, how firmly you stand, how unmoved your heart remains under pressure. And you, yes you, have passed the test that was designed to stretch you. God allowed the fire, but the fire did not destroy you. God allowed the storm, but the storm did not drown you. God allowed the waiting, but the waiting did not break you. Because the test was never meant to defeat you, it was meant to reveal you. Now the revelation begins. Do you understand what it means when the final test is over? It means God has measured your endurance and found it strong. God has measured your resilience and found it unshakable. God has measured your loyalty and found it pure. For years you wondered if your tears were wasted, if your sacrifices were unnoticed, if your prayers were floating unanswered in the air, but they were not. Every tear was recorded, every sacrifice was seen, every prayer was stored. God was not ignoring you. God was building something inside you that could not be built in seasons of ease. God was forging a strength that can only come from pressure, a clarity that can only come from struggle, and a faith that can only come from walking through valleys where you could see no light, yet you kept moving. You see, God prepares breakthroughs in darkness. The seed grows underground long before it breaks the soil. The child forms in the womb long before it takes its first breath. The dawn emerges long before the first ray touches the earth. And your breakthrough, your long-awaited, deeply prayed for breakthrough, has already been forming behind the scenes of your life. You felt the pressure not because you were losing, but because something new was pushing to be born. That heaviness you carried was not a sign of defeat, it was the weight of transition. God was moving you from one dimension of purpose to another, and transitions are never smooth. They shake you, test you, stretch you, but once the transition ends, a new chapter begins. And today, God declares that your transition is complete. The test is finished. You have no idea how close you are to the manifestation of what you prayed for. You have no idea how close you are to the open doors, the lifted burdens, the revealed answers. You spent nights thinking you would break, but God used those nights to strengthen your foundation. You thought you were being attacked, but God was actually sharpening your discernment. You thought you were being delayed, but God was aligning your steps with perfect timing. You thought the enemy was taking advantage of your weakness, but God was teaching you how powerful you truly are when you rely on nothing but divine strength. When God says the final test is over, it means everything that resisted you has exhausted itself. It means the opposition has no more authority to touch what belongs to you. It means the spiritual tension that held you in place has snapped, and the atmosphere around your life is shifting. You are entering a season where what was blocked will suddenly open. What was stagnant will begin to flow. What was silent will begin to speak, and what was empty will begin to overflow. God is not giving you a small breakthrough. God is releasing a breakthrough that will redefine the rest of your life. And let me tell you something that only those who walk closely with God understand. The hardest battles come before the greatest shifts. The pressure intensifies before the blessing is released. The night becomes darkest before the dawn breaks. The confusion becomes loudest before clarity arrives. Some of you have been going through a heaviness that you couldn't even explain to the people around you. You tried to put it into words, but nothing captured the weight of it. That heaviness was the sign. It was the spiritual contraction that shows something new is about to be birthed. And now God says the labor is ending. The birth is beginning. Your breakthrough is not a distant dream. It is a present reality unfolding in stages. You will feel it before you see it. You will sense the shift before it becomes visible. You will know internally what God is doing long before anyone around you can recognize it. God always steps into the heart of a person before stepping into the circumstances surrounding them. God changes your posture before changing your position. God strengthens your inner world before transforming your outer world. And that is why, though you felt tired, something inside you refused to give up. Though you felt drained, something within you refused to collapse. That inner refusal, that divine resistance was the voice of God saying, hold on, the test is almost over. I am still leading. And now God's voice becomes thunder in your spirit. It is time. What was held back will now be released. What was hidden will now be revealed. What was delayed will now accelerate. What was painful will now become purposeful. What was confusing will now make sense. What was blocked will now break open. God is not just giving you a breakthrough. God is positioning you to carry what you once felt unworthy of. God is elevating you to a level where the battles of your past will no longer reach you. God is lifting you into a place where fear cannot threaten you, where doubt cannot weaken you, where insecurity cannot poison you. The test was designed to remove what could not go with you into your new season. You thought you were losing people, losing opportunities, losing things, but you were actually shedding weight. God removed what could not survive at your next level. And hear this, when God begins a breakthrough, no force can reverse it. No enemy can undo it. No curse can block it. No circumstance can slow it down. You are entering a divine flow, and nothing can interrupt what God has initiated. The doors that are opening now are doors that no human hand can close because they were carved by divine intention, not earthly permission. You do not need approval from anyone. You do not need validation from anyone. You do not need applause from anyone. God has stamped this season with divine authority, and what is yours will find you. Listen closely, because as you step further into this revelation, something in your spirit will begin to rise with a strength you have not felt in years. When God declares that your breakthrough is starting, it means every area of your life that has been in spiritual lockdown is about to be released into divine motion. You are not stepping into a little change. You are stepping into a divine shift. A shift that alters the rhythm of your days, the structure of your thoughts, the posture of your heart, and the trajectory of your destiny. And once God sets a shift into motion, nothing in creation has the authority to stop it. Many people think breakthroughs happen suddenly, without warning, without preparation. But those who walk with God understand that every breakthrough is birthed from a long season of unseen labor. The pressure you endured was not punishment, it was construction. God was building the foundation of the future you prayed for. God was rearranging the spiritual architecture of your life so that when the breakthrough comes, it will not collapse under its own weight. What you are about to carry requires spiritual muscle, and the test you live through strengthen you in ways you do not even realize. You are stronger than you were last month. You are wiser than you were last year. You are more anchored than you were in your last season. The test did not just prepare you for your breakthrough, it transformed you into someone who can steward it. There is a reason the struggle intensified before this moment. The closer you get to a divine release, the more resistance rises against you. Not because you are weak, but because the forces that oppose your destiny understand the magnitude of what God is about to do. The tension was proof of your proximity to the promise. The pressure was confirmation that you were stepping into a spiritual zone where old chains could no longer hold you. The fear you felt was the last cry of the enemy, trying to weaken your resolve before God shifted everything in your favor. But you didn't break. And because you didn't break, God is about to open doors that were once impossible. God is not releasing an ordinary breakthrough. God is releasing a breakthrough that touches multiple dimensions of your life. The breakthrough that touches your inner world, your peace, your clarity, your strength. The breakthrough that touches your relationships, removing those who drain you and sending those who uplift you. The breakthrough that touches your finances, turning risk into opportunity and obscurity into favor. The breakthrough that touches your purpose, revealing what was hidden and awakening what was dormant. The breakthrough that touches your identity, removing the last traces of doubt and fear that tried to define you. When God brings a breakthrough, it is never partial, it is complete. It transforms every layer of your existence. But understand this, before the breakthrough manifests externally, it begins internally. God begins the breakthrough in your mind. Thoughts you once battled now lose their grip. Fears that once paralyzed you now feel weaker than before. Worries that once invaded your nights now fade in the presence of divine assurance. The internal atmosphere of your spirit begins to shift long before anything changes around you. This is why you've recently felt moments of peace in the middle of chaos. This is why you've sensed a strange calm, even while facing uncertainty. God was already working. God was already speaking. God was already setting things in motion that your eyes could not yet see. And now God is amplifying that inner shift. God is turning your quiet strength into bold confidence. God is turning your hidden endurance into visible authority. God is turning your silent prayers into powerful manifestations. What once intimidated you will soon bow before you. What once confused you will soon make sense. What once hindered you will soon be removed from your path. You are stepping into a level of spiritual awareness that will allow you to recognize divine opportunities the moment they appear. And let me tell you something profound. Breakthroughs come to those who refuse to step backward when the ground shakes beneath them. You stood your ground. You remained faithful. You didn't allow frustration to drive you away from the presence of God. You didn't let disappointment poison your heart. You didn't let delay convince you that you were forgotten. That endurance is why the breakthrough is now beginning. You passed the final test by staying rooted even when the soil felt barren. You passed the test by trusting God in seasons where trust felt unnatural. You passed the test by believing when nothing around you supported your belief. Now God is rewarding your persistence. God is honoring your consistency. God is elevating you because you proved that your faith was stronger than your fear. And when a person proves their faith in the hidden places, God lifts them in the visible places. You are about to be lifted. The final test was not about what you lost, it was about what you learned. You learned the value of discipline. You learn the strength of silence. You learn the power of patience. You learn the wisdom of withdrawing from those who drain your spirit. You learn the necessity of protecting your peace. These lessons were not random, they were preparation for responsibility. Breakthroughs come with responsibility. Favor comes with responsibility. Elevation comes with responsibility. And God will not elevate someone who is not prepared to carry the weight of what they prayed for. But you, through your pain, your struggle, your endurance, became ready. This is why you will feel a new clarity rising within you in this season. You will find yourself making decisions faster. You will find yourself walking away from distractions with ease. You will find yourself feeling uninterested in old cycles of drama and emptiness. You will find yourself yearning for quietness, because quietness is where God speaks. The shift has already begun in your mind, and soon the shift will spill into your physical reality. You must understand something else. When God brings a breakthrough, it does not come in fragments. It comes as a flood. This flood is not meant to drown you. It is meant to wash away everything that tried to limit you. God is washing away old habits. God is washing away old fears. God is washing away old relationships that secretly weakened you. God is washing away old mindsets that no longer serve your destiny. God is clearing space in your life, because what is coming requires room. Do not be surprised when things start moving quickly. When God releases a breakthrough, time accelerates. Opportunities align. People appear unexpectedly. Doors open without explanation. Situations shift without you forcing them. This acceleration is a sign that the spiritual realm has already shifted. What was once held back is now being released. What was once locked is now swinging open. What was once delayed is now being delivered. But listen carefully. Speed without spiritual grounding can create chaos. That is why God took time to build your foundation before allowing movement. You are now grounded enough to handle the acceleration. You are disciplined enough to handle the blessing. You are focused enough to ignore distractions. You are wise enough to avoid traps. You are strong enough to carry what God is giving you. You are walking into a season where the plans God has for you will begin to unfold with clarity and purpose. You will see how every test, every setback, every heartbreak had a divine purpose. You will realize that none of it was wasted. The pain you lived through was the soil where God planted seeds of wisdom. The silence you endured was the environment where God shaped your discernment. The losses you experienced were the moments where God removed what could not bless your future. The long nights you cried through were the nights where God strengthened your spirit beyond the capacity of your understanding. When God announces that the final test is over, it means you are crossing an invisible line in the spiritual realm. You are stepping out of a season of stretching and stepping into a season of establishing. The ground beneath your feet is changing. The atmosphere around your life is shifting. The weight that once pressed on your shoulders is lifting, not because your circumstances have changed yet, but because your spirit has risen to a new height. Breakthrough does not begin when the world sees it. Breakthrough begins when your inner world aligns with what God has already declared. And right now, your spirit is aligning with a new mandate from God. There is something sacred about this transition you are stepping into. This moment is not just about receiving blessings, it is about becoming someone who can sustain them. Many ask God for abundance, but few prepare themselves to handle it. Many ask for elevation, but few understand the responsibility that comes with it. But you have been shaped by experience, refined by pressure, and purified by trials. God has removed everything within you that could sabotage your next level. The distractions that once controlled you no longer have a grip on you. The insecurity that once silenced you no longer defines you. The doubts that once tormented your mind no longer dictate your direction. This is why your breakthrough can begin now, because your inner world has matured enough to handle what God is releasing externally. And hear this clearly, God never brings you into a new season without first giving you the mindset to master it. You are no longer thinking like someone who is barely surviving. You are thinking like someone who is about to thrive. You are no longer thinking like someone who is afraid to take risks. You are thinking like someone who understands that obedience births miracles. You are no longer thinking like someone who is hesitant and uncertain. You are thinking like someone who trusts God with every breath of their existence. This shift in thinking is the spiritual indicator that you have passed the test. The final test was never about the difficulty of your situation. It was about the posture of your heart. Would you trust God when the path grew dark? Would you remain faithful when answers were delayed? Would you stay grounded when fear whispered in your ear? Would you keep praying when your spirit felt tired? No one else could see what you were fighting, but God saw. God examined the hidden parts of your soul, the depth of your endurance, the strength of your perseverance. And now God has found you ready for the breakthrough that is beginning to unfold. And let me tell you something profound that many overlook. Breakthroughs do not only bless you, they reveal you, they reveal the strength you gained, they reveal the wisdom you accumulated, they reveal the maturity you developed. They reveal the new version of yourself that God has been crafting quietly, patiently, intentionally. When your breakthrough manifests, those around you will say, "You changed," and they will be right. But they won't understand that you didn't just change. You grew, you shifted, you evolved, because God was preparing you for a level you could not reach without transformation. God is now positioning you in places where your name has already been spoken. You haven't walked into the room yet, but your presence is already felt. You haven't received the opportunity yet, but the doors are already unlocking. You haven't seen the full miracle yet, but the foundation for it has already been laid. God moves ahead of you. God prepares paths you have not walked. God softens hearts you haven't met. God aligns events you haven't seen. Your breakthrough isn't beginning today. It began the moment God decided you were ready. And now God is stirring something inside you that is awakening your spiritual awareness. You are beginning to sense things before they happen. You are beginning to feel shifts before they materialize. You are beginning to understand that this season is different. This isn't another cycle repeating. This is a new chapter that God has authored uniquely for you. The signs around you are changing. What used to drain you now drains away from you. What used to confuse you now becomes clear. What used to intimidate you now feels small. What used to block you now collapses before you. These are not coincidences, they are confirmations. Do you know what happens when God says your breakthrough is starting? God increases your sensitivity to divine timing. Suddenly, you feel pulled away from environments that no longer carry purpose. Suddenly, you feel uninterested in conversations that do not nourish your spirit. Suddenly, old temptations lose their flavor and new desires rise within you. Suddenly, you crave peace more than noise. You crave growth more than attention. You crave direction more than approval. This is a sign that God is separating you from the distractions of your former season so that nothing interferes with where you are going. And this is why certain people have been drifting away from your life, not because of conflict, but because of calling. God is protecting your elevation. God is guarding your breakthrough. God is removing those who would contaminate your progress. Some relationships were seasonal, not eternal. Some people were meant to walk with you for a chapter, not a lifetime. And the moment their purpose in your life was complete, God released them so they wouldn't block what comes next. It may have felt painful, but it was divine protection in disguise. Your breakthrough is starting because God has cleared your environment. God has purified your circle. God has shielded your spirit from influences that would have slowed your ascent. The isolation you faced was not emptiness, it was sanctification. God needed you alone to sharpen your vision. God needed you alone to strengthen your sensitivity to divine whispers. God needed you alone to remove the noise so you could hear the direction clearly. Breakthroughs are born in quiet places, and now you understand why your spirit longed for solitude. But here's something deeper. Breakthroughs come to those who refuse to settle. And you refused. Even when circumstances tempted you to surrender your dreams, you held on. Even when your strength was fading, you kept believing. Even when you felt forgotten, you kept trusting. Even when everything inside you felt exhausted, you held on to the promise that God would not leave you without reward. You did not settle for a life below your calling. You did not settle for relationships beneath your worth. You did not settle for opportunities that did not align with your divine destiny. This refusal to settle is why you are now stepping into the flow of God's breakthroughs. And now you will see how God rewards those who remain faithful during seasons of testing. You will see how God lifts those who bow only in gratitude and trust. You will see how God pours abundance upon those whose hearts remained pure. You will see how God honors those who refuse to compromise their integrity for temporary comfort. Your breakthrough is evidence of divine approval. It is God's way of saying, I saw you, I heard you, I prepared you. Now I will reward you. And this reward is not small. It is not partial. It is not temporary. This reward is complete, expansive, overflowing. You are stepping into a breakthrough that will alter the landscape of your life. The same God who tested you is now elevating you. The same God who stretched you is now expanding you. The same God who refined you is now rewarding you. When God ushers you into a new season, the shift is not subtle. It is undeniable. You feel it in the way your spirit wakes up before your body does. You feel it in the way your thoughts become clearer. Your decisions become sharper and your discernment becomes stronger. You feel it in the way your heart no longer clings to what once held it. You feel it in the way your spirit begins to expect what your eyes have not yet seen. This is because God prepares your inner world before God transforms your outer world. Your breakthrough has already begun internally, and now the external manifestation is drawing near with unstoppable force. You must understand that when God declares the final test is over, it means every force that stood against your progress is losing its authority. Obstacles that once overwhelmed you will suddenly lose their power. Fear that once whispered lies into your heart will grow silent. Doubts that once clouded your mind will evaporate like mist under sunlight. God is not simply opening a door for you. God is removing the doors that tried to keep you out. The barriers that stood before you are collapsing, not because of your strength, but because of God's decree. When God speaks, creation rearranges itself to make space for your elevation. Do not underestimate how far you have come. The battles you survived were not random, they were markers of your growth. When you were tired, you kept going. When you were discouraged, you kept praying. When you were confused, you kept trusting. When you were hurt, you kept rising. Every step you took in faith was recorded by God. And now God is responding to your endurance. You endured quietly, and now you will be rewarded publicly. You endured in hidden places, and now you will be lifted into visible ones. The breakthrough beginning in your life is not a coincidence. It is compensation. Compensation for every night you cried. Compensation for every moment you doubted your worth. Compensation for every season you survived without giving up. God is too faithful to leave your perseverance without reward. Now the environment around your life is shifting in ways you cannot fully comprehend yet. The people who once dismissed you will begin to notice your growth. The individuals who once doubted you will start to see your purpose unfold. The opportunities that once seemed impossible will begin knocking on your door. This is not because you suddenly became more talented. It is because God has breathed favor over your life. When God breathes, things revive. When God breathes, things align. When God breathes, things accelerate. Your breakthrough is beginning at the speed of divine breath. And you will also notice that your spirit is becoming more sensitive to what no longer belongs in your life. You will not tolerate negativity the way you once did. You will not entertain conversations that drain you. You will not allow people to manipulate your emotions. You will not give your time to those who do not value it. This is not harshness. It is spiritual maturity. God is elevating you to a level where your peace cannot be negotiated. God is strengthening you to a point where your purpose cannot be interrupted. God is guiding you into a stage where your discernment becomes your shield. Some people will misunderstand your transformation, but that is because they did not witness your spiritual preparation. They saw your silence, but they did not hear your prayers. They saw your stillness, but they did not feel your battles. They saw your calmness, but they did not understand your warfare. Only God knows the full story of your survival, which is why only God can determine the timing of your breakthrough. And God has determined that your time is now. You will soon notice that situations which once intimidated you will now feel conquerable, not because the challenges have changed, but because you have changed. God strengthened your resolve through adversity. God fortified your mind through trials. God expanded your capacity through struggle. You are no longer the same person who entered the test. You are a stronger, wiser, more spiritually grounded version of yourself. And breakthrough always begins the moment God transforms the vessel. Every test you endured purified your motives. You are no longer driven by fear. You are driven by calling. You are no longer motivated by proving people wrong. You are motivated by honoring God. You are no longer chasing the approval of others. You are pursuing the approval of the one who formed you. This alignment of purpose is the reason your breakthrough is beginning with such divine precision. And let me tell you, God does not release breakthroughs to those who expect little. God releases breakthroughs to those whose faith stretches beyond their circumstances. You learned to believe even when the evidence was invisible. You learned to trust even when the path was uncertain. You learn to obey even when the instruction didn't make sense. This is why God is now releasing what was once withheld. Your faith has unlocked what fear tried to block. As your breakthrough unfolds, you will experience a new dimension of divine strength. You will notice courage rising from places within you that you never knew existed. You will notice peace recovering your heart in moments that once created anxiety. You will notice wisdom guiding your decisions with clarity you once prayed for. You will notice a new authority in your voice, a new fire in your spirit, and a new boldness in your steps. These are signs that you are no longer walking alone. You are walking under divine guidance, divine strength, divine strategy. God is not only opening doors for you, God is preparing you to walk through them with confidence. You will not enter your breakthrough timidly. You will not step into your blessing hesitantly. You will walk with the certainty of someone who knows that God is backing every step. You will walk with the assurance of someone who knows that divine favor surrounds them. You will walk with the authority of someone who understands that their season has arrived. God has already begun aligning the right people for your next chapter. People who will encourage you, not drain you. People who will support you, not sabotage you. People who will speak life into you, not doubt you. People who will help you grow, not hold you back. God is assembling a circle that matches the magnitude of your calling. Those who cannot honor your next level will naturally fall away. They will not be able to follow you where God is taking you. As this breakthrough continues to unfold, something powerful will awaken inside you, an unshakable belief that nothing can stop what God has started. Not fear, not opposition, not delay, not adversity. What God begins, no force can undo. What God establishes, no enemy can break. What God ordains, no circumstance can hinder. Now listen closely, because this is the moment where your spirit must rise and receive what God has prepared. The final test is over, and your breakthrough is not approaching, it is beginning. God has seen every tear, every struggle, every moment of faithfulness in the shadows where no one else could witness. God has measured your endurance and found it strong. God has measured your heart and found it pure. And now the chains that once held you back are breaking. The doors that were once closed are swinging open. The season you prayed for, longed for, and believed for is now manifesting. Step into it with confidence, not fear. Walk into it with boldness, not hesitation. Embrace it with gratitude, not doubt. God has prepared you for this, and nothing, no obstacle, no delay, no opposition can stop what God has ordained. Every trial you endured was shaping you, strengthening you, and readying you to carry what you could not have carried before. Every struggle was a step closer to this moment of divine release. Your breakthrough is complete in God's timing, perfect in God's plan, and unstoppable in God's power. So lift your head, strengthen your spirit, and move forward with unwavering faith. God's favor surrounds you. God's strength upholds you. God's wisdom guides you. What was once delayed is now delivered. What was once hidden is now revealed. What was once blocked is now released. Your breakthrough is not a possibility, it is your reality. Receive it, walk in it, and glorify God through it. For the final test is over, and your victory is undeniable.